40%, only 9 of 31 from 3. They turn the ball over 17 times. Bench only scores 22. But you know what? Too good in the end, and they get the win. They sweep their road trip 4-0, coming back to LA 6-2. Frank Vogel gave an update on Alex Caruso prior to tonight's game, saying he's hopeful that Caruso will be available for the Lakers next game, which is on Thursday against the Spurs. Caruso has missed 5 games due to the NBA's health and safety protocols, but participated in workouts on Monday in Los Angeles, so that's good news on the Caruso front. Lakers were also without the services of head athletic trainer Nina Shea, who was not on the bench for tonight's game due to health and safety protocols. We have talked a lot about this, and we will continue to talk about how you navigate through COVID-19.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting outside of the bubble. They did a great job inside the bubble. They were able to contain and control the situation. Now outside of the bubble, you see where not only players are being affected, but staff. So it's going to be something we're going to have to get used to. You know, I see where Kevin Durant's going to miss 4 games up in Brooklyn. So it's something new to everybody to adjust to it in sports and the medical field and the business world. It's just something we're going to have to get used to.
And Rob, I know we're all excited to get Alex Caruso back. Of course, then that will change some things, the rotation and minutes, but you know, a guy like Alex Caruso, you just love having available.
Oh, you love him for his tenacity. He goes out and plays defense, and he plays the offensive game like he's supposed to. He takes what's given to him. The thing about Alex we love so much is he doesn't try to do too much. He stays within his limits, and he does what the team needs at the right time. And I think the connection that him, LeBron, developed is very important. I would love to see that. He's that type of player that he could have a connection with my favorite guy, Montrez, that could benefit both of them. So I'm excited that he's healthy, number one, and I'm excited to see him back.
Hate to see Caruso's progress get stymied a little bit. He was really starting to be, you know, really consistent every night. You know, he started to hit the 3, something he had been working on last year a lot. Not that well last year, but he hit a couple every now and then. Very confident, throwing a little running hook shot. And, of course, he and LeBron in the fourth quarter, they're one of the best 2-1-2 punches in the game. So they miss his tenacity on the defensive end. Be happy to get him back. Yeah,
I mean, every team's going to go through this, where you lose a guy for 4, 5 games, maybe a couple weeks. Got to acclimate him back in.
Yeah, you got to. And that's the thing that's going to be really crucial. And it's almost like the Lakers staff and Rob Pelinka knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
They brought in 4 guys that could probably start for any team in the league. And so now you got these guys just in case you have the protocols that come in with 19 and some guy has to sit out. So, you know, I hate to use this term because another team in the league uses it. It's the next man up. It's literally, hey, you step up and show why you're an NBA player and what got you here to go out and do what's best for this team to keep us on rolling and in the position to win a championship.
All right. You two are going to be a treat.
Yeah, but you got to know, funny thing about Marc Gasol, he's such a smart player. He's such a great player. He can do so many different things for you, James. Offense, defense, talk to you. He might even take you to lunch sometime.
You guys are lucky Northridge isn't in the college football playoff, because it would be on.
Who?
Kelsey Northridge.
Is that a school?
Yeah.
Oh.
Harvard of the West.
Oh,
it's in the Valley,
gotcha.
San Fernando Valley.
Gotcha. That's
Hi, James.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
We're talking about Marc Gasol. I'm always blown away by a guy that's able to, listen, a few years back, he's height of his game. He's scoring 20 a game, 19 a game. He's, you know, battling for defense player of the year, winning All-Star. You know, he's been All-Star games. But now he's changed his game, James. He doesn't need shots, but he uses his hands defensively. He's not block shots like Rob said, staying on the ground. He really just finds ways to do it. Such a smart player.
He understands the profession he's in. You know, when he was younger, he did what he did, Defensive Player of the Year. Now he's at a different stage of his career where he does have a few more years left, but not like the years he had before. So he's found a way to still be effective with the talent that he has. I mean, when I think of Caruso, who does so many intangible things on the floor, you don't see him on the stat sheet. Marc Gasol is one of those type of players now. You know, at sort of the end of his career, great passer, great at putting his body in the position, beating you to the spots before you get there, and making it tough for you because he's not a shot blocker. So he has to do other things to compensate for what he used to have and still be able to be effective today. He's pretty good at it.
That's my question. How often do you see a big man evolving to the point where he can still be impactful and effective.
Yeah, it's nice.
Rare.
I just
Rare.
know one.
They usually retire.
I just know one, Sabonis. That was it. He was the only guy that he reminds me of where he can pass it, still score, still block shots.
Still
and be
affects the game.
effective.
I mean, you
Yeah.
think about Greg Oden, you think about Andrew Bynum, you think about all the 7-footers that White's, used to play for the Clippers. I can't think of his name, but they all did not last longer than 6 or 7 years.
Yep.
And here you see a guy like Sabonis, Marc Gasol, having the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar philosophy and theory.
Is there anything anticipatory about games staying relatively close, fourth game on the road, and then LeBron and AD kind of carrying things to a victory? Is there anything about that formula, or is that just kind of how things turn out sometimes with the way that they play?
Well, I think, it's in some ways how it turns out. I think we're managing their minutes more early in the game and, willing to, extend them a little bit in the fourth quarter. And, I think that's why you're seeing us separate in the fourth. But, certainly we got to play better than we did tonight, in particular, closing that game once we had that lead. But overall, 4-0 in a trip, can't be unhappy about that.
Yeah, Frank, and this may be tricky to answer early in the season, but any reflections on what it's like having a 4-game trip in these circumstances versus what you would traditionally, and how you saw that play out in games, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different dynamic being in the same city for as long as we were in San Antonio and now here in Memphis, and it's a different dynamic playing the same team 2 times in a row. And I just want to credit our guys, because it's easy to have a letdown, when you're playing a team that wasn't in the playoffs last year that is missing key guys, and credit the Grizzlies for playing 2 really hard games, the Spurs as well. But also credit our guys for, playing through all that stuff and, continue to work to get W's. So it is a little bit different.
Dave?
Frank, kind of following along the same lines of what I asked you pregame, we got word from Allison early on tonight that Nina, your trainer, wasn't going to be with you guys on the bench. And what's it like taking that news real time, disseminating it to your team, and maybe not knowing what the next steps that will follow that come with that will be?
Yeah, that's such is life in the pandemic. They have protocols in place to keep us all safe, and when something's out of place, something like tonight happens, and we all just got to have a roll with it type of mindset. The good news is Nina has cleared protocols and will be able to travel back with us tonight. So, like I said, it's just part of life in the pandemic. Is there's going to be people, staff, players, coaches, whatever, at any time, pulled from their responsibilities, and we just have to have a next man up type of mindset.
Kyle? Hey, Frank. Just LeBron's fadeaway shots, the spin-away shots at the end there. I think certain maybe metrics tell us that maybe that's not an efficient shot, but when LeBron takes them, how much confidence do you feel in those situations that it's going to find a way in?
I have a lot of confidence in LeBron James in the fourth quarter. I don't really know any other way to say that. I trust him. We coach him to make the right reads and feel the game out and point out things that may be there that I'm sure he's seeing, but just to make sure he's seeing, and that's why he's great. He finds a way to make those elite superhero types of plays. Our focus is on making sure that we don't need those superhero types of plays, to close games out. But, sometimes you do, and it's great to know that he can rise to the occasion the way he did.
A couple more. Dan?
Right, kind of not really a basketball question, but there's a ton going on in the world right now. Obviously, a runoff election in Georgia, the police officers in the Blake shooting not being charged. I'm just curious. LeBron has his hands in so many of these different things. Do you ever marvel at his ability to compartmentalize and perform when obviously, there's a ton of stuff that he's interested in that's going on elsewhere in the world?
Yeah, of course. He's obviously one of the most impressive people I've ever been around. And, I think what you just alluded to,